Have you gone over George's response? That's a great question. We're about to now. This is 27 minutes long. This is his initial response. This is the updated response. 260,000 views. It really puts into perspective how many people on YouTube actually care about this stuff, because based on how big the allegations got on Twitter, you would think that like millions of people are waiting for his response, right? You would think the audience actually cares, but I think if anything, this should embolden them to never respond to these lying losers again, because nobody cares. 260,000 views. You'd think it was like career destroying. He should have had like 3 million views in this video by now, right? But clearly nobody actually cares. Nobody actually cares about this on YouTube. You know, I think I have like the most viewed video on this on my channel, my stream, VOD, if you look at it. And it's like 170,000 views. Like, that's pretty good for my channel. But like for GeorgeNotFound, I mean, this dude's super famous. This dude's a Minecraft god. Literally nobody cares, you know? I mean, he's got millions of views in every video. Makes a response to drama. You'd think it'd do well. I mean, you think about Quite, right? If you look at Quite response or whatever, for the record, 4.7 million views. Everybody on YouTube cared about that. Nobody on YouTube cares about the GeorgeNotFound allegations. Critical hasn't made a video about it. Nobody's made a video about it. It's fine. It's literally fine. So I think it's important to watch this, you know, to take it with a grain of salt, but to also take it very seriously. And I'm excited. It's 27 minutes long. I've been eager for this response. Supposedly, he nukes Katie a little bit, but also apologizes like 30 times for not even doing anything. So that's why I'm kind of put the freak off. Shave your eyebrows. Why don't you shave your pussy? By the way, for all the girls that have applied to the e-girl job position to be the cute girl, none of you got it. Sorry. Oh my god. All right.
For those of you who don't know, caitibugzz recently did a stream and accused me of something very serious. I made a response and then she made a follow-up response. This is my response to her follow-up. Throughout this video, I'm going to be showing clips from some other people just for context. And just to make it clear, I don't want any hate to be sent to anyone, including these people. Here are the 2 tweets that I posted about the situation. These are now deleted as I only made them to let people know that I had intentions to make a response. And I didn't want people to think I was just completely radio silent in the time that I needed to make those responses. First of all, I just want to make it clear that my tweet that I put out after my first statement wasn't somehow admitting to guilt or completely
Tom laced my G Fuel with estrogen. That's actually real.
Tracking on what I originally said. My perspective had changed due to new information that Katie had provided. So now I'm just going to go over Katie's new statement and talk about what she had to say. So first, she acknowledges the texts that I showed about them talking about wanting to play the drinking games are real, but that they were from her friends. So this is reasonable. I only brought up that point because the implication was that it was kind of creepy of us and we were forcing the game on them.
There was more alcohol in the room and we were encouraged to drink.
Dude. Like, I know the physiognomy thing. I try not to trust the physiognomy thing, okay? I try to think that people can break their genetic bounds, okay? Just because you look like you like Scott Pilgrim versus the World or whatever doesn't mean you're like that, okay? It doesn't mean you're really like that. Just because you have a septum piercing doesn't mean you make false allegations. With that being said, if you look like you enjoy Scott Pilgrim versus the World and you wear a septum piercing, I think we can immediately disregard you and full-fledged say you are lying for clout on YouTube, on blast, on your mom, on some top Josh shit, okay? On Phonum Grave, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, what? Like, honestly, this kind of like outfit is just like screaming. I want attention. I'm sorry. But we're gonna actually let him go through his points. I'm sorry. My bad. Literally me. Well, you need to stop that and be normal. Dude, can I just date a girl who has money already? What's going on? Can I date a hot girl who's rich and buys me Patagonia and has a tight pussy? What's going on? Can someone rich talk? Where are the rich girls? You're a rich girl. Yeah, where are they? What's up? Why does every girl my age look like that? I'm kind of sick of it.
Some more as they offered the bottles.
No girl wants you, Tom? Well, maybe I'll go gorilla mode.
To us and insisted on drinking games, and already drunk, I obviously complied.
In reality, it was mutually talked about and everyone was just having fun. The next, she mentions that one of the reasons she wanted to hang out in our hotel room was because there was another creator that was in the room, but then that creator didn't actually end up being there. Again, reasonable. I didn't know this at the time. There were people in and out of our hotel room throughout the whole event, so she could have potentially heard of anyone being there. When her group was on the way to the hotel, she was messaging me, bantering about whether or not I would actually be there or not. And that
yeah, I remember these DMs. These DMs are so funny in the context of like, she thought he was creeping on him the prior night or whatever. She thought it was going to be creepy. And here she's like specifically like, let's hang out. I want to hang out with you, Dream. Well, I wonder why that was.
Made me think that she wanted.
Tom is sick of mentally ill girls. He likes disabled guys. True.
I don't know. Maybe she didn't care and she just wanted to see the other creator or just to be with her friends. Next, she shows our Instagram DMs and she said that a reason she kept messaging me in a friendly way for a while after this whole thing happened was because, and this is a quote, she felt lucky to be talking to a verified account.
Bruh. I felt lucky to be talking to someone with a blue check mark. What a loser clout chasey thing to say. Like, truly, like, just acknowledging the fact you kept talking to him because he was famous. That's dark.
Someone famous, someone I had followed and watched for a while. Now, this is not something that I
went gorilla mode. He didn't. He went more primate mode. He went more chimpanzee mode. He was like all cute and cuddly. He was like, ooh, I'd be like, ooh, let me touch your tummy. I'm going to touch your tummy. 3 months later, you me. But like, if it was me in this situation, okay, if it was me in this situation, here's what I would have done. Listen, caitibugzz, I'll tell you what I would have done. Fucking verbatim, okay? This is me, I'm GeorgeNotFound. This is me, I'm caitibugzz, okay? I'm George, I come in the room. I'm like, hello, governor, welcome to my hotel room. And then she's like, oh my God, do you want to cuddle? And I'll be like, ah! That's what I would do. And I would run the fuck away, okay? I would get out. That's what I would do. I would go silverback mode. I would silverback that bitch. I'm an ape, and you will not escape. You literally won't escape. There's no hope for you, dude. Once I go gorilla mode, it's just like, when I'm like this, when you see me go like this, when I'm going monkey mode, there's nothing you can do. I will prove the allegations. I will debunk them. We gotta go back to watching the videos. The video, sorry, my bad, the video. This is serious. This is serious business, and I'm treating it with the seriousness it deserves. Yes, Captain Buttsex, I will do my duty to watch this GeorgeNotFound video.
I wasn't aware that she ever watched my content in the past. That was never brought up. This actually makes me feel pretty bad. The only reason she was messaging me was because I have subscribers or something.
Dude, literally. She's a clout chaser. She thought that she could network. We'll get into the networking allegations soon when we talk about the debate I had with Destiny's fake troll friend of Katie, which we'll get into how I got epically destroyed in the battle of trolling. That being said, I do find it weird that she kept messaging him for a year. And her explanation later on is like, well, I did it because he was famous. In the words of Donald Trump, when you're famous, they let you do it, you know? caitibugzz, very weird, very gay, septum piercing, don't know about that one, don't know. But total epic win for GeorgeNotFound.
Something. I would never want that. Again, the only reason I actually brought up us messaging after the fact was to show that we were still friendly afterwards, and that I didn't know that she was uncomfortable at the time. She also confirms that we did talk on Snapchat, like I said, but also that nothing really happened there either. The next thing she talks about is the elevator. She said that we left at the same time and that her hotel room was on the other side of the hotel.
She could have just blocked him. I mean, generally when somebody sexually assaults you, you don't keep talking to them after the fact consistently in a friendly manner and never bring it up, right? Like a decent question is like, how come when she made this allegation, she never asked George first about it, right? Like, why didn't she message him and be like, hey, I just want an apology? Because if what she truly wanted is an apology, she probably would have tried to work it out with him or talk to him, right? But truly what she wanted is him to be canceled on Twitter and for her to get attention off of Shelby Shovel's accusation. That's what she really wanted the entire time.
So there was like kind of two corridors connected by an elevator room in the middle. So she's saying that she was just going past the elevator to get to her room. And again, this is totally reasonable. I brought this up because from her stream, the way...
Why is George doing the dream head angle? He kind of is like making sure like he's showing his jawline. Like it's, imagine if I did like a response to allegations and the entire video, like for the entire thing, I was like, so today I'm going to be responding to the allegations. Little did you know that the allegations were truly disproven. When I went silverback gorilla mode on caitibugzz, she was sort of doing a sort of flamingo dance, sort of a mating dance. Katie's just tickling back. They'll be even true, dude. Sometimes you just gotta tickle, know what I'm saying?
That it was told kind of implied that I followed her out and then that she waited to take the next elevator instead of getting in.
His jawline is part of his defense. Well, because realistically, the MCYT community would come after him for not mewing hard enough. If he hadn't done that, right? Like, they would be mad to be like, listen, maybe he didn't sexually assault her, but he isn't mewing. Therefore, guilty, loser, cuck, gay guy. Like, that's what they would have said. So you have to mew. You have to be mewing to disprove the allegations. I'm going to lose in that case. Blaine Hunter, thank you for becoming a member.
Me while I tried to convince her to get in. I'll just play the clip of her saying this, so I'm not speaking for her.
I went to leave, and the older guy decided to leave with me. We walked to the elevators, where I didn't get on. He then pretended that the elevator was broken and that he couldn't leave, telling me to get in the elevator to prove it was broken.
In my original video, I just wanted to clarify this, that we left together because the night was over and that she was on the same floor, so she didn't actually have to take the elevator. And it seems like she agrees with this now. So next she agrees with me that she didn't mention my online friend that I just met that day. She said she didn't mention him though because he left early and she didn't even know his name. And she shows a text message that she says is from him from the night where this happened, where he says that.
I'm currently watching George cuddle with Katie.
Obviously, this is implying that he was kind of uncomfortable with what was happening, and also that he knew her age, despite just meeting her. And when I first saw this, this actually majorly changed my perspective on the night, because that would mean that my friend was also uncomfortable and somehow knew her age when I didn't. And even though she said that he left early, my memory of it was actually that he was the last to leave, just before me and Katie left.
So I'm curious why they didn't make him question it immediately. Like why he wasn't just like immediately like, that seems sussy. She seems to have a misremembering of events. Either she thought this was a different person than it was or something to that effect. Like there seems to be something weird going on here, some weird discrepancy that she's using to call him out, right? Like this is a clear contradiction in the stories that he seems to think from his version of events is not even in line with the truth.
Dream also came to me and mentioned that this changed his perspective of the night as well, because that would mean that he was essentially the only person that wasn't uncomfortable. And
That must have been why he did the crying Twitter space where he was like, the idea that someone didn't have a good time was... Who cares?
therefore he should have known. This really concerned me. I kind of was just sitting there like really thinking, how could this have happened? So I reached out to my friend to talk to him about it. And it turns out that he actually didn't send this message.
Whoa! So she just lied about that.
Play a phone call that I had with him.
Or maybe unknowingly lied, but she used that to her benefit to try to make him look horrible. And it wasn't even from him.
After I found this out, just because I think it gives more context.
What's up?
So there is a text that is claimed to be from you.
Yeah, I didn't send that text. I found out about it when you...
Thank you, Taylor, for the $50. Holy cow! Thank you very much. I do appreciate you for that. Thank you guys for keeping the lights on for the Turkey Tom streams. I put a lot of effort into these, okay? I go crack mode, so I do appreciate it, dude.
Sent it to me. But yeah, no,
Wasn't it? The text might have been real, but it wasn't from the person that they thought it was.
no, that wasn't me. I don't know where they got that from. I didn't ask them for any of their phone numbers or anything like that.
Can you kind of just talk me through your, like, anything that you remember from essentially the entire event?
A little bit before VidCon, I hit you up to hang out, and then you mentioned that you had an extra bed for your hotel. We got there around like 5 o'clock. We just went out to your room, like met up. I think it was towards like 9 or 10 o'clock. We met up at Dream Spot. Then it was just us three for a bit, and then you or Dream mentioned...
How much to become a member? It is $5. Speak of the devil, Sierra being a member for 11 months. Thank you very much, bro. How's it going?
like just having some people come over and hang out. We were playing, I forget what the drinking was called. I think it was kind of like Cards Against Humanity, something similar to that. I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary. I didn't really notice any like bad vibes or anything like that. It was a little playful, maybe a little flirty.
So she fabricated that DM. I mean, the DM may be real, but she fabricated who it was from to make him look worse, to make it look like it was from his friend that he brought along, that he specifically mentioned being there rather than anyone else. Do we need any other proof that this girl, like, just cobbled together a bunch of shit to make her look good and make him look bad? Like, this is so clear. This is so clearly. There's no way he apologizes in this video. He's calling her out for lying consistently, showing that she was dishonest about this. Like, he's accurately disproving the allegations. How could he ever apologize for anything in this video?
I noticed that you guys were just kind of like playing with each other and just...
Alex kissed her. Allegations are hilarious. Yeah, it seems like he's going through a dark time. Or he was going through a dark time. She's lying for clout. It seems that way, dude. It seems that way. Part of it that's been brought up is the fact that she said she talked to some of her friends and stuff. There seems to be some kind of friend group behind this. A lot of people speculate it's this girl named Amesy. I don't know if that's true at all. But whoever her friends were that, you know, played into this delusion that she had, and, you know, the power of suggestion can be very powerful. It can make you misremember things even and take events very differently. It's very possible that there were some people behind the scenes that were making her think that it was worse than it really was, which is like what happened with Che back in the day, and Hyojin and all those friends who, you know, they heard about her relationship and they were like, that's abuse. You need to expose Slazo right now. And then it turned out that it was just completely bullshit.
like kind of cuddled up a little bit on the couch, so I was just... It
Can you be
definitely
my new dad? Of course, dude.
didn't seem like she was like uncomfortable, you know. It seemed like everybody that was there was having a good time, because I mean we were there pretty late, so I don't really follow like this internet stuff like that, so I'm not up to date with what's going on online. The way she was explaining everything, I mean, at least to me, like it was not like that at all. To me, it kind of seems like a misunderstanding. There wasn't really a thought in my mind that like, oh, this girl like could be in some sort of danger, or she's being like preyed on or anything like that. Because
And keep in mind the actual allegation of what he did. Like what she admitted to after the fact, when initially she lied by admission by not saying that they were cuddling, right? She lied by admission. She never mentioned anywhere they were cuddling. She's like, I was sitting there on my phone trying to distract myself, and all of a sudden he put his hand up my shirt. In reality, that's not what happened at all. In reality, they were cuddling for an hour, and then he touched her tummy. He touched her tummy. He gave her a little tickle. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's not sexual assault. It's just not. Nothing bad happened. You're fine.
Yeah, even though George is my friend, if I noticed him doing anything that I wouldn't want someone I'm friends with to do, then I would, I either would say something about it or not be a part of that situation.
She says that you left early on in the night. Could you talk about that?
I think around like 3 or 3:30, I went to go get tacos. I think I got the party pack or something. For some reason, I couldn't believe I actually went and got tacos. I know for a fact that I got the tacos like extremely late. Like I had to go in their drive-thru even when I was in a car. Like I had to walk through their drive-thru and like order through their speaker. That was fun. I know I left at 5 or very close to that time because right after 5, I texted Dream that I left open the deadbolt on his door right after I left.
Wow, so they have circumstantial text too around what happened. June 25th, this is the date of the supposed assault. Well, I guess the night of June 24th, the morning of June 25th. Really weird, man. I want to gobble on George Not Found. Well, that's totally up to you, Levi. That's your prerogative. You can get to gobbling if you want. Good luck. Hopefully you're not freshly 18.
To let him know. I think that was at like 5.
I think she's lying for clout with malicious intentions. It's probably a mix. It's rare that somebody outright lies just for clout, so it's probably a mix of the wrong intentions and wanting to get attention for it, and also a mix of like being convinced, like, because she probably in her mind thinks she's in the right? It's very rare you have someone outright come out and just lie and know they're doing something wrong. So maybe in the back of her head she knows she's doing it for clout, or there's some part of that in her motivation, but part of it is probably also just being convinced about what happened, by people, or reinterpreting events to mean what they don't actually mean, stuff like that. I doubt it's like a specific like through and through thing. That being said, given what happened, I think her career should probably be over for a while at the very least. I don't think anyone should listen to her.
10 a.m. Can genuinely say I had a really good night. That's kind of the impression that I got from everybody else too. Is like everybody was having a good time, but hopefully, you and Katie can maybe, I don't know if be friends is the right word, but I hope she feels better about it, because I feel bad that she feels this way, but I don't know, it's kind of bad situation. It's just wild that like this whole
What happened to the 2Mad video? Well, the 2Mad video is it's up on the channel. It's on the live tab though, because it's not just a video, it's a stream. There's copyrighted content in it, and usually YouTube lets you trim that out. Like you can go in the editor and you can trim it out, but they said the video is too long for me to trim it out because it's like 6.5 hours, which is like so dumb, but whatever. Thank you, Oleg, for becoming a member. Yeah, it's just kind of cringe that is the case. Thank you, Devil Guy, for the super chat. George and Wilbur should become gay and cuddle and bite each other. I bet they already are.
Situation came from like that night. It was just like mind-boggling, dude.
Place your bets right now.
Like I couldn't really believe it, like half the shit I was seeing. Like as someone that was there, like other ways that I've heard it being like described, like from what I was like reading and watching online, is actually kind of insane.
So obviously after this conversation with him, I was pretty confused. Maybe it was like a misunderstanding or something, because obviously they wouldn't just show this screenshot if it was fake, because I could disprove that pretty easily. So I had Dream reach out to get some clarification on it. So they replied back and essentially just said that it was an accident and that Katie had gotten confused on who said what. And I'm really not trying to nitpick anything here. I just really think it's important to make sure that...
It's not a nitpick. It's like a clear discrepancy in what she said versus the actual story. So you should be calling out things like that. You should be calling out the inconsistencies. Can we run duos? No. Thank you for the donor, though.
Everyone has the full picture of the whole event as it happened so that people can accurately form their own opinion. Anyway, the next thing that she talks about is the cuddling. She said, and this is a quote, "A lot of the touch was initiated by him, probably not realizing it. A lot of the cuddling he may have felt was personal, but it was just me being drunk. I do think a lot of the cuddling was initiated by me, but some of it wasn't. I was also drunk, but my impression at the time was that it was very mutual." She also said,
yeah, and if they're both drunk, like, why is it that Katie being drunk has all the responsibility taken off of her, but him being drunk has none of the responsibility taken off of him for any miscommunication, I feel like that's a valid thing to call out. And it's like, oh, it's because she's fucking, she's only 18 years old, and it's like, okay, but you're an adult. Like, 18 years old is an adult. Like, that is literally an adult. So this whole, like, freshly 18 thing, too, I don't know who wrote that, but she was 18, like, 6 months old. Even if she was 18 years old in one day, I wouldn't really care because she's a legal adult, and, like, that's the cutoff we make as a society, so, whatever. But, like, clearly, like, you were a legal adult at the time. The responsibility is not removed from you just because you're drunk. Like, you chose to drink. You could have not drank, and you did anyway. He also chose to drink. I don't know what you guys, when I'm drunk, I'm probably not going to cuddle someone I don't want to cuddle. Unless I'm literally inebriated, like, in which case he shouldn't have been cuddling her, but that's not the impression I get. She wasn't literally George going gorilla mode, base, dude.
Says that, quote, I didn't know cuddling was an invitation. I don't think just cuddling is an invitation for anything. I only brought the cuddling up because it's something that she didn't mention at all in her original stream.
Which is a lie by omission, absolutely. Not talking about the cuddling is an outright move to make it look like the touching came from nowhere. That is literally what it is. There's no other way to interpret that. Like, that's such a crucial detail. Cuddling for an hour of this interaction was cuddling before she got, you know, tummy tickled or whatever. To leave that out, you have to be malicious. You have to be actively lying. So either she chose to take it out or someone encouraged her to take it out. Whatever the case, she's a 19-year-old at this point. She's even older than she was back then. She's a legal adult. She made the decision to leave that out, and that is on her. I hate the infantilization of young adults. Like 100 years ago, we'd be in the trenches being bombed and stabbing each other. Grow up. True.
Sat on the couch, and the older guy sat right next to me while playing. It was a little after
Funny idea, cheeseburger.
that when I resorted to playing games on my phone when
Do you believe Shelby? More than I believe her, but I'm still not sure. I'd like to see more stuff come out before that is totally believed, but I don't necessarily think she's lying. Wilbur's response was really bad in that situation, I will say. It was quite bad. So, you know, I'll take it with a grain of salt. If he makes a better response, which I'm open to the idea of, that'll be very different. My friend tried to tell me he got her drunk. Goes to show how much people actually look into the allegations. Dude, the misinformation around this stuff is crazy. It's like mind-blowingly crazy. There's been posts people have been sending around about the misinformation that's been, you know, present in this case. There's actually a post on the Dream Was Taken subreddit, which I can bring up right now. So this post is titled The Absolute Misinformation on Other Platforms. Just going to leave it here for people to hear. No words. Hope he gets sued for that misinformation. In the comments, she tried to kill herself multiple times. She basically grabbed her pussy. She dropped her phone from shock multiple times. All that got so much reach. And all of this was not even said by Katie, and people are just spreading this
18 to everybody. Said that she was a virgin even. She was drunk. George was making unwelcomed advances towards her. Then he stuck his hands down her pants.
That wasn't even what she said. She didn't even say that. Where did you get this impression? How are you making a TikTok video with like the news, Xander, and you're this fucking wrong, dumbass?
Creep towards her private part.
Nope, didn't happen.
Asked if she was ticklish. She said no in a very shocked and disturbing manner. He touched all over her body.
No, that didn't even happen. Where are you even getting this? Where are you even getting this information, dude? How are you this bad at this is like your TikTok job? How are you paid for this? And if you're not paid, then just get the offline. Actually, if you're paid, get the offline, you fucking loser. You're a fucking idiot.
Body, which is what everybody keeps missing. It wasn't just one place. He would touch all over her so that way she would drop her phone.
What the fuck are you talking about? Drop her phone? Where did this come from?
Multiple times. She freezed up. She couldn't speak. She couldn't move. All she wanted to do was disappear. She did eventually stand
What is this like dramatic music too?
up just so it would stop.
Like reenactment.
When it was time to go, he went towards the elevator and wanted her to come with him. He just stood there.
This is like, this guy deserves to get sued for how crazy he is.
Ran, did not want to go in the elevator, so he left with a wounded puppy look. She held it in for so long, having multiple periods in her life where she wanted.
Dude, this guy should be put in jail for misinformation. This guy should be sent to Siberia.
Dream cried this morning, admitting that Katie was right. GeorgeNotFound also.
He didn't even admit that Katie was right, though. He really didn't. It was a bad response, but he didn't admit she was right.
Katie spoke out last night in such a huge way that they couldn't even deny it. Katie said that she was drunk, that she didn't verbally consent, and that GeorgeNotFound was the only one who was making sexual advances. They were hanging out in front of everyone. The iMessages that George said that was proof were in group chats where neither Katie nor him were present. And the one screenshot that was
Why does he immediately just take Katie at her word, too, for all of this?
never 21 plus. It was only
Like, how come everything is always viewed favorably to her and nothing's viewed favorably to him?
body. Said that she was a virgin.
What is verbal ace yapping about? True, dude. Very true, Mandible.
Even. She was drunk. George was making unwelcomed advances towards her. Then he stuck his did eventually stand up just so it would stop. When it was time to go, he went towards the elevator and wanted her to come with him.
Like, this guy's a fucking... This guy, dude. This guy, I'm just Xander. Actual fucking loser, liar, misinformation spreader. Honestly, just get his ass. He deserves to be canceled more than any of these people ever have. He should be sued for everything he's worth and more. His children, his grandchildren should be paying GeorgeNotFound.
when it happened.
It's all sensationalism and shock bait. Yeah, it's disgusting, dude.
And again, it's something that I think people need to know about to understand my perspective fully. The next thing that she talks about is that I said she got up and sat back down with me multiple times. She agreed with this, but said that the reason she did this is because, quote, I didn't want someone I had watched for a while or with a large following to hate me for denying to even sit near him. Now,
Well, that's your fault then. Like, that's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to not go back into an uncomfortable situation, which wasn't uncomfortable at the time. You didn't care. But if you say it was uncomfortable, you would not get back into that. How does that make any sense? That is your fault. No one else's fault. Your fault exclusively, Katie. You're an adult. It's your choice what you do. I got up. I didn't want to embarrass him. Your biggest concern when you're being sexually assaulted is embarrassing the guy who's doing it. Are you retarded? You're a fucking idiot. Drunk people can't think that deep. Well, maybe you shouldn't be drunk if you don't trust yourself in these situations.
This makes me feel terrible. It's something that she mentions throughout, this power imbalance, but this is not something at all that I was thinking about at the time. She was a VidCon invited guest. She had a hotel room on the same floor as Dream. She was friends with my friends. And honestly, I just never imagined that this is something that she could have thought. And I do think that's my problem. I should have been aware of this, or at least the
No, it's not your responsibility, though. It's your responsibility to be careful, but you didn't actually do anything wrong in this situation, George. Like, you took her signals well. You cuddled her for an hour, and then you touched her stomach. And that is not sexual assault, bottom line. Bottom line, it's not. Especially given all the context around this. Thanks for the 5, Shen. This is the most frustrating crap to listen to. Thanks for going through the trenches for us. Lack of accountability on her part is making me want to eat sand. Yeah, if I had to guess, she's never going to take accountability. She's never going to admit to what she did wrong. She's never going to admit to being a piece of shit. It's just not going to happen. She's going to constantly cope about this forever. I mean, she just left the internet. There's no response she could give right now, especially now that the MCYT community is wisening up to how she's a fucking pathological liar. There's just no way that that she's going to come back in any favorable light. And if she does, she deserves to be destroyed online. Like, genuinely, like, I try not to be vindictive these days, but this person is a liar. This person lied by omission. She directly lied with that text. Like, this person should not have a career. Bottom line, she shouldn't, and nobody should work with her. And if you are, prepare to be falsely accused, dude. Whoever you are. And if she did actually take accountability, then she would just pass off the blame onto other people, which they do have blame for, but it's largely her fault. She's the one who published this.
And I am sorry. I feel terrible about it.
I wonder how many people still support her regardless. They're out there. They're definitely out there, but they shouldn't be.
I've never really thought about power imbalance at all, to be honest. In that room, I wasn't thinking about, YouTube subscribers or fame or power or anything at all like that. You're
going after more than you did Super Mega? Well, yeah, I guess I am. I don't know. I'm fired up right now. In fairness, with the Super Mega stuff, like, I didn't really uncover the full story until the video was out, and that was a more measured take, right? And I think Lex Updog deserves to be called out, and she should be called out for the way that she lied in the same way. I mean, she hasn't really made a return to the internet. We haven't even heard of her, so she probably, got what she deserved in that way. But in terms of, this girl, I mean, it's just, I'm watching it live. It's frustrating. I can't, like, contain my emotions around this, I'm just pissed off.
Saw us all as friends, hanging out, having fun. Again, I'm not trying to downplay this by saying this. It is genuinely something that I'm going to be thinking about going into the future. This comes up again later, and I'll have more to say then. Next, she talks about how I mentioned that she stayed for hours even after her best friend left. She says that her best friend left throwing up in her hand and that she didn't know she had left, that she didn't make the conscious decision to stay. Now, this isn't my recollection.
Every decision you make is conscious. You were making the conscious decision to stay. At every point in time, she's passing off responsibility. At every single point in time, she's passing off responsibility for her own actions. And George is forced to accept responsibility for his own actions when he never should. Not that his actions aren't his own, but he didn't do anything wrong. She did. She is the bad actor in the situation.
Collection of what happened. I remember Ghosty getting up to leave and Katie getting up to say goodbye to her. I also asked Dream about this, and he had the same recollection of me. We were all drunk, so I can't 100% say for sure what actually happened, but as per my memory, she was aware that Ghosty had left. Also, according to what she said, Katie and Ghosty were sharing the same hotel room together. So the obvious assumption is that they would probably leave together. The fact that...
Yeah, obviously. Or the obvious assumption is you would know when your roommate goes back to the room at some point, right? Clearly. And you would be conscious of that.
She chose to stay despite not really knowing most of the people there gave me a pretty positive impression on how she felt about staying there. She says that after Ghosty left, quote, I put up with it in the moment.
You're responsible for Super Mega coming back. I think they would have come back anyway. I don't want to take credit for that. And, it is interesting to see that they've made a pretty big comeback and fans seem to like their stuff. I'm happy for them that they made it out of the fucking allegations, unscathed relatively, and they seem to be doing well now, getting good views on these videos. It's not me though. I mean, they had good responses beforehand. Ultimately, my response, a lot of it was recapping what Matt said and what Ryan said and putting that together, right? Ultimately, that's a lot of the work I did, and then putting it together with Lex's allegation and then cross-referencing it with the Turkey team. So it's not all me, I can't take credit for that. I definitely think I helped sway public opinion. I think what Matt and Ryan did is they swayed it for their audience on their side, and I think what I did is show it to a larger YouTube audience and show them the bullshit and make an easy reference, because like I did make a very easy reference to go over that's like all comprehensive in one place. It is really long, and I kind of wish it wasn't that long, but it had to be just for the amount of content to go over. But I'm glad that you know, if it helped out at all, I'm glad that it did. I will say that. But ultimately, you know, whether they came back or not was not my greatest concern. My greatest concern was just getting the story out there to be as accurate as possible. And whatever happens past that happens, right?
Because I thought it was the price I had to pay to be around such big creators. Again, like I said before, this is just not something I even thought she could be thinking. And
it's a ridiculous thing to think too, unless there's an expectation in the Minecraft community that you get felt up to make it famous, which there's never been any indication of. There's never been any indication that these guys do that, you know? People compare this to Harvey Weinstein, which is completely different. Her career was not hindered by this. She was fine. She didn't have her shit destroyed at all. She was fine. She was never cut off from any connections. She just didn't make it because she's not really entertaining and doesn't really work on shit and is boring, right? That's the truth around it. I would be shocked if this girl was able to make a comeback on YouTube, because there's no way the commentary community is going to let her get away with what she did.
I'm sorry that I didn't. Next, she talks about me being more touchy as the night went on and says this, quote, "You didn't know me. Apparently you didn't even know my age, but you knew what I wanted. No, he assumed it's what I wanted, because why wouldn't I want that from someone like him?" This is absolutely not how I think about this kind of situation at all. I would never.
And that's a crazy, like, malicious read of intentions too. Like interpreting it in the worst possible way to make yourself look better. George didn't even do that when he responded to her. Most allegation people don't do that. They at least lay out mostly facts rather than just like intentions, you know, in this way. She's like, he thought it was okay because he was famous. It's like, there's no indication of him doing anything like that in the past, and there probably won't be in the future, especially not now. Jesus.
Like that, and honestly, it's...
I thought her channel was relatively popular. It really isn't. If you go to the caitibugzz channel, this is the channel. 50K views is very generous. It's more like 20K maybe. I mean, she's had a few videos do well, but I mean, they're not even like, they're just like her room videos. It's just like cringe girl content, right?
Sick rappers need chapstick.
I guess like who is watching this even? I don't know. I don't know who would watch this truly. Like, who cares? This girl has awful friends. I'm sick of everyone ignoring that. Yeah, that's a worthy thing to bring up, you know? She had a bunch of friends who were complicit in this behind the scenes and were comfortable with her publishing this. They should definitely be blamed partially. But ultimately, it's on her to publish it. But, like, what even is this content? Like, who is watching this? This is so aesthetic, teenage girl core memory of you. Katie, these always bring me so much hope for the future. Seeing you all grown up. All grown up. She hearted that comment. Funny. When it's convenient, she's an adult. Oh, this guy, dude. That guy is... hilarious, dude. Is his name Ryan? That guy is the GOAT.
Kind of an evil way to think about things. Just
Dream is so fart coded, based, poop max surgery. If they just been poop maxing, none of this would have happened. If they were filling up their diapers, literally none of this would have happened ever.
Opinion that you can do anything because you're famous or whatever. And I never once remotely thought anything similar to that. And I feel terrible reading those words, knowing that you think that about me. I would never think that I'm owed anything from anyone just because I have a YouTube channel, especially in an intimate context. Again, I'm really sorry for this, and it actually has been pretty eye-opening to me, and it's just not how I've ever really thought about stuff.
Why even apologize to this girl after she pathologically lied about this, though? Like, she clearly doesn't have good intentions. It feels like, to me, the Minecraft YouTubers, they feel the need to apologize for every action they take because of how Dream responded in the past, where every little controversy he would constantly apologize, right? And that was just like how he felt he needed to act. But realistically, there's no reason to apologize when you didn't do anything wrong. When you know you didn't do anything wrong, when you have evidence the person lied about it. I'm not saying you have to go full aggro and like try to nuke her, but like you shouldn't be apologizing to her. She should be apologizing to you for lying by omission. I mean, we have already a few great points in this video. Lying by omission about cuddling, right? That's an important part. She never mentioned the cuddling at all. Why didn't she mention it? Because it makes her look more bad and illustrates the fact she clearly was not sexually assaulted. Why did she fake that text message and say it was from someone else that it wasn't actually from? Good question. I guess you can say that both of these incidents are somehow just like, oh, well, she just wasn't thinking about it. But it's like, first of all, when you're publishing a public allegation, that's you have to think about it. She's an adult. She needs to be held responsible for her actions. And secondly, no, obviously that's not the case, okay? 2 in a row, you're telling me twice she fucked it up, and that's just like, oh, whatever. Whatever, you know, she may have lied, but like it's whatever. Like, she saw his good intentions. No, she doesn't. She's lying. Don't apologize to these freaks. This will happen again and again and again to you. Which is why it's hard to which is why it's very hard to feel bad for these guys, because on one hand, like, they are falsely accused, obviously, and like I do feel bad for them, and that's like bad or whatever. But on the other hand, like, they instantly give in to these fucking losers, and they just let them run their fucking dicks all over them. Like, Katie just has a giant cock in the situation. She's slapping down, raining it down, like it's just coming down from the sky, and it's like coming all over Dream and him. They're just like, I'm so sorry that you're raining your cum on my face. Like, dude, stop! She lied. She clearly lied. It is proven. You cannot argue with that. Like, if you try to, you're delusional or lying to yourself. I hate these people.
And I don't really think you're wrong for assuming that I thought like this.
Jesus.
Obviously,
They have no spine. Yeah, they do have no spine because they just want to keep their fucking Minecraft career, which they could keep. They could keep their Minecraft career even if they disprove the allegations. In fact, it would be easier to keep it because in the future, their fans won't be fucking, pulling at their pant legs trying to get them to apologize for nothing. You can't acknowledge these freaks. When I see people on Twitter slandering me, okay, do I say I'm sorry you feel that way? No. I either ignore them or I quote tweet them and I'm like, you're wrong. This is why. Also, you're cringe, plus ratio, plus your mom, plus Jocelyn Onfroy, plus gorilla mode, plus, Brody TV type shit. Like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for something I didn't do wrong. It's a business move, and it's a really dumb one. Weasley little liar, dude. These Minecraft YouTubers should build a spine and stand up to the 16-year-old they-them mob. They should, or just ignore them because their opinions clearly don't matter that much outside of Twitter. Based on the fact that this response has 260,000 views on a YouTube channel with 1 million subs, and from a YouTuber who has 3 million subs on his main, you'd think these allegations would be blown up more, but no. Just no. Nobody cares, dude. Nobody actually cares.
People out there that think like that and use that to take advantage of people. And it makes sense that if you think that about me, that you would hate me. But that is not who I am at all. And I just really hope that you can understand that. Now, another thing that she mentioned that changed my perspective on things was that she showed texts from 2 of her friends the day after, checking up on her to see how she felt. She says, quote, "In the moment I was chilling, but thinking back on it, I'm sweating a little bit like, damn. I also don't know if I was chilling in the moment because I was drunk." And this is something that I was actually completely unaware of.
In the moment I was chilling, I was fine. Looking back on it, I was sweating a little bit. So which one is it? Can you just decide? You reinterpret events after, of course.
I'm not aware of any uncomfortableness in the moment, after the fact, or...
Katie was literally who, and now she's the GeorgeNotFound allegation girl. Well, now she's the GeorgeNotFound false allegation girl, and she should be known as that forever.
Even after Katie's first stream, I just wasn't aware that anyone had expressed discomfort until I saw these texts. I actually had the opposite impression just because we were all really friendly afterwards still. Dream actually had a conversation about this with almost everyone that was in that room a few months later. One of their friends had actually tweeted about Dream, saying that
you're a 24-year-old man who spent his entire teenage years locked away in his room on the internet, and now you're trying to relive your teenage years, but it just comes across weird as shit when you invite an 18-year-old girl back to your hotel room to drink. Average Harry. Who is this guy?
He was inviting an 18-year-old girl back to his hotel to drink at VidCon and was implying very negative things about Dream being a predator. So Dream realized this
18-year-old. When you're a predator and the person you're preying on is a legal adult. Oh!
Could have only been about Katie because it was a pretty specific call out, but thought that it was just being purposefully misleading from someone that hated him. Dream actually had no idea as well that anyone was uncomfortable and assumed that this tweet was implying Katie was uncomfortable with Dream. He reached out to Ghosty about it, asking what this was even about, and did the same to others, including Katie. Now, I'm not going to be showing Katie's text with Dream because at the time, Dream had told her that her messages and conversation would not leave their texts. However, here is Dream and Ghosty's conversation about it. "I was never brought up or mentioned at all. And also, when Dream makes fun of Harry for being ridiculous and making stuff up because nothing happened and we were all still friends, she said, exactly. She actually spoke about this on her stream very recently, and I don't want to speak for her, so I'm going to play the clip where she clarifies.
So at the time, even her friends before the event who were there, her best friend, Ghosty, who was there, sitting across from her on the couch, she was like, yeah, nothing happened, it's fine. It didn't even mention George. It wasn't even a conversation about, George at all. That is crazy, dude. That is crazy. That dude lied about Dream and hates him. It seems like he lied about him in this situation, but I'm curious if he lied about him intentionally or because of misinformation being spread. But there's a lot of people on Twitter who just constantly go after Dream for clout for no fucking reason, actual losers. These MCYT type people who just were a part of the community for a month and then never made it and are jealous types. There's 20 of them that exist and are just running around constantly like chickens with their heads chopped off. It's embarrassing.
The only time that we had a conversation about anything that had to do with that night was obviously when the stuff with Harry.
The septum again? The black hair? I don't know.
Happened.
I don't know.
And he texted me asking if it seemed like anything had happened. And I, at the time, said no, because the conversation was not about George. The conversation was about him.
Does a story make you black-pilled and susceptible to anheroing yourself? The whole situation is giving me AIDS. It makes me black-pilled, but, you know, I think ultimately with these situations, you have to keep into context. Like, this is not the majority of people who would act this way. This is like a very specific community on YouTube and really Twitter of mentally ill individuals who react this way, and like people who are bloodthirsty, right? The average person wouldn't react this way if they heard this story. Even if they just heard Katie's allegation, they probably wouldn't think it was anything too serious. So there's that. On top of that, I mean, you know, these are powerful people with powerful audiences, and, you know, there is kind of a what feels like an unbeatable tide you're fighting against. But if you give up, then they will always win. So you have to try. You have to try, or else it's just over, right? Like you literally have to try. Because, like, think about it. Like, if people like me and Nick Diorio weren't making videos about stuff like this, I'm not saying that I'm, like, doing a service for the world or whatever. Like, someone else would probably stand in. But if there was no one making videos about this stuff, literally no one, then there would be no question about the allegations. It would just be relegated to this little audience. And then who even knows how the public would take it going forward, right? So I feel like at least for the purpose of archiving it for the future, right, it's important to document these allegations to the best of your ability. And yeah, I mean, it's a little blackpilling sometimes, but that doesn't mean it's over, you know? There's been a lot of situations like with Quite or like with Slazo where people were outright falsely accused, evidence fabricated, stuff like that, you know, intentions misinterpreted. And, you know, it can get blackpilling in the beginning because it seems like everybody's down their throat and coming after them, but you always have to keep in your mind like it can be reversed. Literally, when the Quite allegations came out, nobody was defending him. Everybody was saying that he's a rapist, a piece of shit, a horrible person. And after the fact, nobody was. And all the people on Twitter who said that apologized and looked like idiots. Like, it's very possible to beat it, you know? It just takes time. It takes time, man. The allegations make me angry. Can we get a Tom Muscle check to brighten the mood? Dude. All right, I'm only doing this because someone asked, okay? Yeah, I'm getting huge. That's right. These allegations come out bi-weekly. At this point, no one learns. I mean, this community hasn't been exposed to false allegations yet, so, like, it's kind of a new thing for them, the idea that a girl would lie. So, like, it does come out, you know, sort of over and over again, and it's kind of a frustrating thing to see it, you know, happen again and again. But, you know, these communities, people do eventually learn. Like in the commentary community, people don't take this stuff as serious as they do. The only reason why Quites were taken as seriously as they were is because he has a very like progressive sort of LGBT friendly audience. And, you know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but a lot of those people tend to take allegations very seriously and are like believe all women types. And that's why they took it that way, you know? And
it was about the underage drinking, and it wasn't ever about whether or not Katie, you know, it was always just about him and not George.
Yeah, these Minecrafters do have that kind of audience, and that's why it's such an issue. But if that happened to Quite again, obviously it would be an entirely different issue, you know. But it depends on the community, you know. If this happened in like the commentary community, my community, people would obviously have a problem.
Which is why I said, dude, no, nothing seemed wrong, because he wasn't doing anything wrong, and I can stand by that. I will stand by that comment, and I said that in one of my posts that, you know, like it wasn't him. That was our conversation. It was never about George. It was about him and the Harry situation. And it was about me. It at the time had seemed that Dream was one who had taken advantage of Katie, and I said he didn't. And I didn't lie.
But if you thought that George had and it was his friend, why would you have not brought that up? You know, like why would you just leave that out of the conversation? Like you'd think if the conversation is happening about that night and about something that could have potentially gone wrong that night and what's going on, and Dream is being accused, you'd think a conversation about his best friend would be brought up and maybe that would clear up things a little bit, right? Like why was that never mentioned? Well, probably because at the time nobody thought anything did happen, and in reality nothing ever did happen, and nobody should care. He didn't go silverback mode, okay? I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. No more muscle donos or whatever, okay? No more. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. The shirt's staying on. No more of this gay shit, okay?
And Ghosty, I'm really not trying to use your words against Katie or you. I'm just trying to paint an accurate picture of our perspective of the night. And to do that, I kind of have to talk about everything that we knew. I don't think your words negate at all how Katie felt, of course, but they did affect how I perceived the situation afterwards.
Even had no relevancy. Well, it does have relevancy because the allegation is that George was inviting a drunk 18-year-old caitibugzz to his hotel room. So it does have relevancy. Because like that was the night that the supposed assault took place, so of course it's relevant.
He streamed this kind of confused us, and Dream especially, because he thought that this would have come up in these conversations.
Lies like this ultimately hurt victims. That's the worst part of this. You listen to 18 Ann Arbor one too many times. Yeah, I mean, that is the biggest thing, right? Like now when somebody else comes out and tries to maybe GeorgeNotFound did hurt somebody and we don't know about it. I'm not saying he did, but like if there was a real case and someone had to come out about it, this would greatly hurt those allegations, you know? And this applies for anyone in these communities, in the YouTube community, in the Minecraft community, like, because now people have a disposition to not believe anyone, you know? So I'm hoping that stuff like this stops happening, but yeah, it does hurt the real accusers. It's completely disrespectful to actual sexual assault victims who have gone through it, you know, and never got justice. Thank you, T, for the 2.
He was so confused that he was convinced that Harry was essentially being malicious. And he said this, and Ghosty and others there agreed with him. Ghosty even said that her friends should get to know him because she and Katie had actually had pretty negative opinions of Dream before meeting him, but had their minds changed after meeting him at VidCon. This is obviously said about Dream and not me, but Dream looked at this as positive about the entire experience and shared this with me. It seems like Ghosty has changed her mind about this now, but I just think it's really relevant to how we felt about the situation as a whole and to show this to you guys. Honestly, over the last year or so, anytime a creator has kind of distanced themselves from me, I just assumed it was because of Dream. Dream had false grooming allegations against him, and I assumed that because of this and my association with Dream, people didn't like me. After Dream posted his video disproving these allegations, I honestly thought pretty poorly of creators that were still negative to me, as now I thought there was literally no reason for it. And now, after seeing Katie's follow-up, I realized that probably everyone knew about this behind the scenes. And I think...
And nobody was talking about it. The other thing about that is, like, I bet none of those people are ever going to apologize because they have an irrational, deep-seated hatred of Dream and GeorgeNotFound for whatever reason. Maybe it's just pure envy or jealousy. I honestly don't know. But there's this audience of people on Twitter where, like, I remember when Dream posted the false allegation response video, then this guy, Dino Nuggets, came out and was like, well, what about the time you held a merch giveaway and the guy never actually got the merch or you never released the video? Like, is that really the most relevant thing right now? And how does that even compare to the false allegations around grooming? How does that even related whatsoever? Like, this is like an irrational, literal dream derangement syndrome is a thing these people have. It's insane. These people need to be nuked from orbit by a bunker buster straight from Benjamin Netanyahu's penis personally. I want to lay my big noodle on a cold glazed ham. Well, you can do that, D, as long as the cold glazed ham is okay with it.
That is insane. I was walking around with these people at other events or interact with them in any way, and all the time they were just thinking terribly about me, and I didn't even know, and neither did any of my friends. If I'd seen Katie in person, I would have gone up to her normally. I would have assumed we were still friends. I think this is a massive injustice to Katie. It actually kind of makes me rethink a lot of my experiences with other creators, just looking back on it with this new information. And I don't even know who these people are. And even right now, after all of this information is public and out there, I still haven't had a single private conversation with anyone who knew about it prior to Katie's stream. This is all just to say...
This is the thing, like, they all just take Katie at her word. They hear something happen, they immediately assume it's true, and they never even ask, you know? Like, how does that show their integrity? What kind of integrity these people have? This, alongside the constant age gap groomer stuff, is just Zoomer neuroticism, a moral sex panic among Zoomer social fascists. Not the base kind. Yeah, it does seem that way. It's very unfortunate. Ultimately, I mean, not the entire generation is this way. Once again, keep in mind, if you get blackpilled about this, like... A lot of these people are terminally online, right? They literally spend their days on Twitter tweeting for interaction, farming for interaction for no money, just for the purpose of getting social belonging through the fucking internet. So that should tell you a little bit about the kind of people we're dealing with here, right? Ball chain, very true, ball fart, ball chain.
Say that I didn't have any idea
Just
that
tuning
there
in.
was a problem, and I wish that I had, and I should have. The last thing to mention is her age. Like I said, I wasn't aware at the time that she was 18. I mentioned that they had come from an official VidCon after party, they were drunk, and I made
Thanks,
the
Lynn.
assumption that, knowing how these events are run, that she was probably over the age of 21, as they wouldn't have been able to drink in there otherwise. Now, they actually said that they drank somewhere else briefly before showing up, and that makes more sense. It is irresponsible of me that I made this assumption, and going forward, I will make sure to explicitly ask for a person's age. And I'm sorry, Katie, that I did not do that for you. I also brought up how when I was going back through the texts, I feel like,
am I dumb for thinking the underage drinking is not that big of a deal unless you decide to make a false allegation and then present it like you have no responsibility? Like, if they're like 14 years old, you're giving alcohol, like, okay, that's bad. But like when I was like 20 or when I was 19, I had like 22, 23-year-old friends who would buy me a beer and it wasn't a big deal, you know? When I was in college and I was 18 years old, how do you think I got bottles of Smirnoff? Officially 18 is such a dumbass sentence. Yeah, it is. Well, it's because it's to imply that she's like immature and young and, you know, basically underage is what the implication is there, that he's being a predator. He's preying on a young child. That's literally the implication.
Picture of one of them wearing a 21 plus age wristband. And I showed this picture.
You
Now,
suck
this is
dudes
from a
off for them? True.
group chat that I wasn't in, but Dream showed me this when I was making my video. And I figured it was relevant to why I was under the impression she wasn't 18. It is now mentioned that Katie wasn't actually the one that was wearing it and it was just someone else's hand. So in these texts, they say, this is a quote, "Loose ass 21 plus wristband. We have a strat." Now to explain what this strategy is for the people that haven't really been in a club environment or a place where you would get a wristband like this, essentially they give you this wristband to show that you are over 21 so that you can get drinks from the bar. These wristbands are made in a way so that once they're put on, they cannot be taken off without breaking it. And that's precisely why they're used, to prevent people from underage drinking. But clearly the security that gave the girls these bracelets didn't do a good enough job and didn't put it on tight enough. And this just shows that you can never be too careful and shouldn't make assumptions like I did. And I should have asked for her age. And I am sorry that I did not. This is not a mistake that I will make again. From Katie's statement, it kind of seems like
Check your DMs where?
she didn't believe that I didn't know she was 18 and kind of thinks I'm just being dishonest about it. She said that she had it in her bio.
Say the
and
N-word again. Nincompoop.
I DM'd her, so she was very
Based.
confident that I knew.
Later that night, when I left, I received Instagram DMs from him. And in my Instagram bio, in bold, was my age, 18, confirming he knew how old I was.
For context, as you can see here in this screenshot, her age is actually in her display name on Instagram.
This girl's appearance and crying is giving me PTSD. I hate people who cannot take responsibility for their actions. It makes me so fucking angry, dude.
And because of this, I was also pretty confused how I didn't know that she was 18, as it's literally in her name, not even in her bio. It's in her name. If it was in her bio, it would make sense to me because I could totally see myself going to her profile the first time I wanted to message her and just clicking message and never really going back to her profile. And essentially just any time I interact with her was just through the direct DMs where you actually can't see someone.
The age thing is such a weird discussion too, though, because once again, like, she was of legal age, so I don't see why this is such a big deal. And she also willingly chose to drink. Like, it's not like he forced her to drink. She said she was like drinking by the time she got there already. Thank you, Banana Rama, for the 10. Like, she's 18 years old. She's an adult. She chose to drink. You know what I'm saying?
Bio. So I actually completely see where she's coming from, and it does seem kind of ridiculous that I didn't know. So because of all this, I actually started to look into this quite a lot because I know that I'm not stupid. And
I can't believe I'm hearing a guy saying sorry because someone was of age. Very true, Killy son. It's like fucking insane. And like, these allegations are going to get worse, you know? Literally the next allegation is going to be like, I had consensual sex with someone, and he's going to get canceled because he had sex and has a penis. It's going to be so fire when that happens. I'm so excited for that.
must have seen it. But also in my head, I know that I didn't know her age, so it conflicts. So today I actually found out there are two different types of professional Instagram account. There's a creator account and a business account. And for some reason, Katie's account was a business account instead of a creator account. We actually joked about this at the time through our DMs because
In the name, you can't even see her age either.
I was actually able to book her as like a business, and I didn't really know why I was able to do that. And weirdly enough, it actually turns out that business accounts don't display special characters from a username.
Oh, very interesting. Oh my god, bro. He knew my age. Liar. Not that it matters anyway, but Jesus.
The username that's displayed.
How much you want to bet she knew that too? Just given all the other things she knew and lied maliciously about. I was freshly 23 years old, and he was 24. And he took advantage of me. He went gorilla mode. He went gorilla mode on my pussy. My pussy.
And because her age and this
True.
smiley is a special character, it literally just didn't display it in her username at all. And you can actually see this in the picture that I sent to her during our messages, that her age is not displayed in her name. And you can also
Thank you very much, Hemi. Appreciate it.
see this in the screenshots that I used in my previous video, that her age also isn't visible, despite the fact that her age was in her name at this time. But now actually, as of today, her account isn't a business account anymore, so her age shows up
If it's
again.
lagging, just refresh the page. Refresh the page. Holy shit.
I took
Refresh your mom,
Obviously, this
true.
wasn't a feature that I knew about at the time, and I actually had to do quite a bit of research.
And too lazy to refresh. Well, we only accept hard workers here, okay? We only accept hard refreshers here who are willing to hard refresh and go gorilla mode on Phonum Grave, on Jose, on Freud Grave. So if you're going to do that, like, just smoke poop on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, take a hit of the diarrhea bong for all I care. Tom says, people keep bringing up your pyrocynical videos. You ever think about making a new video on him? I have not really thought about that, to be honest. Tom falling off. True, it's over. You're the one who can change her? Dude, I am the only one who can change her. That's actually real. I'm literally the only one. I can change her, guys. I can make her normal. I can fix her. No, you can't. You gotta rip out that septum piercing first, and then maybe it'll be fine.
So I hope that could kind of clear that up a little bit, and that maybe you can see how I wouldn't have seen it. I actually do think that the age difference between me and Katie was a pretty big factor. I am older than her, and based on what she said, I do have more experience than her. She never went into the exact specifics either, so out of respect for Katie, I've chosen not to give any more details than she did, to make sure that I'm not airing out any information that she's not comfortable with being known. But I have clarified that the furthest things went was under the...
What do you mean audio is cutting? Audio? It sounds perfect.
...with being known. But I have clarified that the furthest things went was under the...
What do you mean audio is cutting? You guys are just lying to me. Hold on. I'll just restart OBS. The stream fucking back on. Chill the fuck out, okay? I'm fucking mad at you. If you guys are trolling me, I'm literally so angry you don't even know how angry I am. I'm literally going to stick my balls down your butthole. I'm going to pop them in and shove them in like coins, okay? I'm literally going to do it.
She did say that the level of intimacy that we had together was the furthest that she'd experienced. But to me, it was quite tame. And when I say
it was
this,
extremely tame. You just cuddled and you tickled her tummy. Literally nothing happened, dude. Literally nothing happened. You tickled her tummy. She's fine. She's fine. I hate you people. I hate this Minecraft community so much. Freshly 18, shut up, dude. Shut up.
I am not trying to devalue how she feels about this at all. I'm just trying to point out that we clearly viewed things differently. And this is something that I have learned from now, and I will be taking very seriously moving forward. And I am truly sorry, Katie, for not realizing this and not taking this difference into account. It is clearly something that is extremely important to you, and I'm sorry. Even after everything I've just said, things would be very different if I could just say that I had asked her if she was comfortable and she had said yes. But the fact is, I never did ask this. As I mentioned, there were a lot of things that she said she thought that I wasn't aware of, that if I had known, would have changed a lot. And going forward, this will be something that I take into account in every interaction I have with anyone, sexual or not. I am sorry, Katie, and I am sorry for how this will affect you going forward. And I'm sorry that everything got to this point. But I just hope that after hearing my perspective, you can understand that that
you're a pathological liar. Why even apologize? Why try to show understanding when this person clearly lied about all of this? Why respect her at all? Why give her any credit? She's a fucking piece of shit, dude. You don't have to do this. This is the problem with the Minecraft community. Like, there will never be any true accountability for these people because they'll always get away with it. Because every time they up, every time they fucking lie, it's like, oh, well, I understand, it's fine. No, you shouldn't be understanding. Watching this man gaslight himself into thinking he's an SAer because he cuddled with an 18-year-old makes me praise all that I don't watch these people. Dude, it's insane. Cheeto made a great tweet about this that was like so good. It was like literally the best tweet about the situation. He tweeted something to the effect of like, this guy cuddled with a girl and now the entire internet is convinced him that he's Jeffrey Epstein, and that's literally what happened. Yeah, this is it. This is crazy. This tweet is... This guy was drunk and put his hand on a girl's waist after cuddling for an hour, and now the internet has convinced him he's Jeffrey Epstein level bad. It is insane the way the internet works. It's disgusting. Is Katie LARPing as a 14-year-old? I mean, she's LARPing as underage when she's an adult, for sure, no doubt.
Never had any bad intentions and never meant to hurt you. I think that is essentially all the information that I can add to this.
Never back down, never give in. I will not bow. I will not break. I will go gorilla mode. I'm gay.
A lot clearer to me, and now I do think we agree pretty much on the order of events. We just don't necessarily agree on my intentions, but again, I do really hope that her seeing this can help with that. There are actually a couple of other things that I wanted to mention before I end this video that are not at all as important as anything else I've said before this, but this seems like the right time to address other concerns that people have had. The first thing that I want to talk about is a comment that I made about Punz's girlfriend at the time, Andy. I was in a call with Punz and Andy was in the shower, and it was known that we could hear Andy as we had brought it up previously within the call. She was talking very sexually with Punz, essentially complaining that Punz wasn't leaving the call to go have sex with her in the shower.
Bro.
I don't remember the exact quote that I said, but this is what Andy quotes me saying. If you don't go in the shower and have sex with Andy, I will. I do remember saying something along these lines, essentially saying, come on, puns, go have sex with your girlfriend.
Is this being phrased as like a comment? Seriously? Him saying that you need to go fuck her right now? Is that seriously being framed as like a comment, dude? Whoever's mad about this is a fucking idiot. This Andy person, if they actually express that this is like something wrong, is so stupid. Is this the girl that put out for Dream even though she was with Puns and Puns made a tweet longer about it? Is this or is this a different girlfriend? Can someone in chat tell me? Because if so, this is clearly just projection. She belongs to the streets, bro. She's not your girl. Never was. I feel bad for you, but you just got to you just got to get out of that situation, you know? You just got to get out. It's okay, brother. She's not the only one. It will be okay. There are other biddies and gyots out there, all right, man? It's going to be fine.
Who's begging you to go have sex with her in the shower. Or
George is literally a normal dude. Yes, he is. It was just your turn, dude. With some of them, it is just your turn. That's real.
You understand how this could be disrespectful, and that was not my intention at all. Knowing how she felt after the fact, I do feel bad. And
you know, we can turn and say, yeah, he seems like he has like a neck problem. Like, imagine if the entire stream, imagine if the whole stream, I'm sitting here in my chair, okay? I'm sitting here in my chair, and it's like this. It's like, hey guys, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Like, what? Why would you do that? He's got a neck problem. He needs a neck brace. He needs to get some cream. He needs to get some cream on his spine because he's suffering.
I'm sorry to both Puns and Andy for this comment. My friends, including Puns, we often say ridiculous things, and that's just our type of banter. If anyone ever said something...
This is good, Angle. I mean, not to be gay, but he's a relatively good-looking person. I feel like he doesn't have to do whatever this is.
...to me about me making them...
It's like his spine is glued to the racing chair.
I would obviously do my best to try avoid making them uncomfortable. But Andy wasn't...
It's AI generated. Yeah, this is an entirely AI generated apology. That's actually real. That's what they don't tell you about the Minecraft community. Every single apology they make is AI generated, okay? It clearly is. The Dream pose. Yeah, why did Dream do that in his response? Do you guys notice that? Like, why did he do this? Like, it doesn't really make sense why he would do whatever this is.
So long, it feels like my entire life. I mean, staff and I've known.
This isn't even as bad, honestly. Now that I look at this, this isn't even close to as bad.
A long time.
He is like constantly like
my friends on FaceTime and a bunch of other creators just to get a little more hype as well.
Like, what is it? Do you have to do that? Do you have to do that weird pose? Like, I feel like there's no benefit to doing that. It must hurt you. Heard about the diagnosis? Get well soon. Thank you, dude. Listen, the doctor said I'll start liking girls again soon. Okay, it's happening slowly, but it takes a little bit. But trying to quagmax on God, on Joss, on Froy, on your mom, dude. Literally refresh your mom. Goated skibbity.
One of my friends, so it makes more sense that she doesn't really know that's the type of way that I joke around. And I hope that...
He looked at me while WAP played. Bass, dude. When WAP is on, you gotta go gorilla mode, know what I'm saying?
She understands that I didn't mean any harm by it. Finally, something that I've wanted to talk about for quite a long time, but have never done, is the Technoblade charity stream situation. People were upset that I was playing soundboards during the beginning of the stream. For context, this event wasn't intended to be serious or
Thank you for the
sad.
5.
It was a for fun event and to celebrate the memory of Technoblade. A narrative that was massively spread was that I played the soundboard during Technodad's speech. But that actually was not the case, and I had played it during a time where all the creators were in a call just talking to each other before the speech had even started. I actually called Technodad.
This is the person that someone lied about this. What's their name? The like furry artist person. Their name is like Do. I should know their name. I was on them one day ago. This person tweeted out literally the cringest tweet in the world. Not forgetting when this little freak started playing his soundboard to interrupt Technodad's speech during the Technoblade charity stream he didn't even donate to despite being a millionaire. Money he got from being a parasitic little leech, only thriving because Dream got big. First of all, when you say things like this, projection, okay? Literal projection. You're probably jealous about the fact you didn't get big somewhere and that you're a leech, first of all. Owned. Secondly, why are you getting mad on the behalf of someone else when it's not your responsibility? Like, it's literally not your choice who jokes about it or who is okay with it. Like, it's their friend that died. It's George's friend. It's Dream's best friend that died. It's Technoblade's dad. If he's mad about it, he'll talk about it, right? It's not your choice. And so I quote tweeted this at some point, and I said, oh yeah, so first they posted, here we go, this clip from the stream. This is a fire clip, by the way. I'm glad this got 10K likes. Turkey Tom called me a loser, insufferable, no brain celled, mentally ill, parasitic leech, and a bad artist in under 1 minute the moment he saw this tweet. All that is true. This is all real. Normies on the allegations. And then you have this like do enjoyer fucking loser, okay? This person is insufferable. Base. This is the person who said that I consistently defend abusers. This person is retarded, has no brain cells. This is the person who's saying that I defend abusers, and their example is GeorgeNotFound, who literally didn't sexually assault someone. This fucking degenerate freak. Probably has a variety of mental illnesses that prevent them. This person probably put a nuke in their pussy. from being a trustworthy source. In response to GeorgeNotFound saying he was going to respond, they said, not forgetting when this little freak started playing his soundboard to interrupt Techno Dad's speech during the Technoblade charity stream he didn't even donate to despite being a millionaire. Money he got for being a parasitic little leech, only thriving because Dream got big. First of all, as far as parasitic leech, this person's a Twitter artist who draws like furries that look like shit. So, opinion invalidated in that way as far as the leeching allegations. Secondly, and I like how they cut me off right before I get into the main point when I could actually nuke them with my argumentative prowess based on Kekistani blood ties. Like, obviously this person had to cut it off before I went into the argument about how they are speaking on behalf of someone else who died when they have no position to be doing that. Like, even if Dream did play a soundboard during Techno Dad's speech, which apparently he didn't, and we know that now, even if he had done that, is it really your place to be mad about a guy you didn't know? And so I tweeted out at some point, I said, where the is this tweet? Hold on. I have this. Oh yeah, here we go. I said, when GeorgeNotFound was accused of SA, he used the tragic death of his friend Technoblade and the fact he made a joke about it on stream in front of Techno's dad and friends who didn't care to farm Twitter hate. I think everything I said was more than justified. And then also, I've also posted this. This is just a picture of their initial tweet. Oh, hey, Turkey Tom, glad my mere existence pisses you off, Lamau. This is like the crying, like, mask, Soy Jack. You're a fucking loser, dude. You'll be broke forever. Base. You'll never get a Rolex. Base. You'll never get an R8. Base. You're owned. Skibbity toilet. Riz on your mom, nuke up your pussy. Oh my god! I hate these people. These are the kind of MCYT degenerates I was talking about, getting mad on other people's behalf.
Had a few days after the event because I
Why even respond? I guess for content.
Make sure that he wasn't upset or uncomfortable with anything that I had said. And we discussed it all. He told me that he didn't have a problem with what I did and that the public reaction was actually pretty crazy to him. And then he invited me to the next year's event. Another thing that people criticize me for is that I didn't donate to the charity. But again, this actually isn't the case. I donated $2,000 to the charity after the event, but I did do it anonymously, so obviously I'm not surprised at all that people don't know this.
Once again, donating more money to charity than that person's ever donated in their life to anything. Donating more money to charity than that person pays in taxes in an entire year, and they're still mad at him over nothing. These people suck.
I donated anonymously because I just didn't really want to make it about me. And
I wonder if he like saw my tweet or something. I'm curious.
Just donated because I wanted to. Obviously, there was no actual requirement for the creators in the event to donate to the charity at all, and them just streaming to their audience and incentivizing the viewers to donate.
Well, Dream gave him a spinal disease, so that's why he's looking at it like this.
Was enough. Now, I did this specifically by showing the donations live as they came through on my stream. And because of me doing this, over 2% of the donations actually contain my name within the donation message. So I think it's pretty unfair to come at me for not donating to the charity when I was clearly making a big effort to get my viewers to donate. And beside that, I did donate $2,000. I just wanted to mention this. I know it's kind of way off topic compared to the other two things that I've mentioned in this video.
Well, you have way more money than that, so $2,000 is nothing. Shut up.
But it is something that has been constantly brought up since it happened as a way of showing that I'm a
Thank you for the dono.
So I just wanted to clear that up. And that's pretty much everything I have to say. So I hope you can understand. And yeah, bye.
Overall, I mean, decent response. I'm glad he called out Katie for lying. I wish he hadn't apologized over and over and over again. I guess that's just how it is in the MCYT community. It has to go that way. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, you know, it was all right. It was better than I got the impression of. I mean, he did call her out. He did show that she was a liar. You know, there's really nothing they can do now. I think it's indisputable that Katie lied. George officially beat the Tickle Monster allegations. Damn, these Minecraft creators must have crazy anxiety. Their audience is psycho. They make a massive deal about nothing. True. Crazy how dramatized Twitter has made this event. This is not even a really essay, and 18 isn't adults. People stop treating it as some weird form of grooming. I'm glad that the top comments are filled with people who are making points that he wouldn't even make, like getting it in there just so public discourse is reflected in that the truth of the allegations a little bit, you know. Overall, I hope these people shut the fuck up. I hope we stop getting false allegations. I hope the Minecraft community improves and stops being filled with fucking losers. It's insufferable. I hate that these people get this shit. But at the same time, if they want to cower and buckle ultimately and make improper responses initially and not check DMs and not do proper research, I mean, that's kind of on them, right? I don't know. Feel bad for George. At the same time, I kind of think he deserved some of the response he got just based off the way he responded. But hopefully, if it happens again, he'll think more critically about it. Community is hopeless. The community is hopeless, but the audience can be fine. They just need to purge these people, which you can do. You can do it with time. It's actually a possible thing to do. You just need to not validate them. And be sure to become a member. For $5 a month, they get the members-only podcasts and exclusive videos that only members get. Thanks so much for your support.
No